Hello, everyone. Good morning.
Hi, good morning.
So, just before we start, I just want to say your bag is lovely. Where did you get it?
So, this was actually Valentine's gift for my husband this year.
Oh, really?
But it would be good to add that it's actually a female designer here.
Oh,
Nigerian female designer.
Bag?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
And the factory is here in Ibadan.
Oh, wow.
Even though they have their showroom in Lagos called Femi Handbags.
Okay. So, I'm going to go and check them out.
Yes.
The bag's lovely.
The bags are really good.
And I'm guessing you're a lawyer because I see Blind Woman of Justice sitting free.
I mean, it's good to notice this because here we have doing business, but yes, I'm a lawyer. I read law. Okay, so my name is Ebunoluwa Akinwale. Again, like I said, I read law in the University of Ibadan. So I tell people that I'm a lawyer by bookery. Because I didn't practice, I didn't really practice. I went straight into HR administration. I was in telecoms industry. I did a bit of oil and gas. And then when I realized that I wanted to have more time to spend with my children, because my husband at that time worked out of station, I decided to do business. So I just wanted to do something that would be flexible for me to have time for the children. So I have 3 children. I mean, they're big now. And I started a bit early. So my first baby is actually 18.
Oh, wow.
She's 18 in Pathway University. My second baby is 16 and is doing his A-levels. And then my baby is just 13.
Okay, that's huge. That's
yeah,
huge.
So that's why, part of why, when I realized that. So I started quite early. And my husband was always out of town working. So I needed to be hands-on with the kids. So that's when I realized that I couldn't really chase career the way I would want to, because if I was going to practice as a lawyer, I wanted to be a criminal lawyer. And you know what that entails, courtrooms, you're traveling, that might not be what would work for my current reality. So we had this chit chat and I told him that, I think I wanted to do something at home. And he was like, yeah, fine, stay at home with the kids and all of that. We agreed on that. But then who I am, I cannot sit down in front of the Zoo World or Telemundo not doing anything, so I just started exploring my passions or what I enjoyed doing. And at that point, I really, really love planning events, because then I started working for companies. But then I don't know, maybe it was me feeling like I can do it all. I felt everybody's already doing events. And I found myself in wellness, because after my kids, I added a lot of weight. So I was able to lose.
That's hard to tell.
Trust me, I'm even a bit chubbier than my normal because of middle age. That's talk for another day. But I did a lot of weight and I lost almost 40 kg. So people noticed and it helped. So that's really how my business started, because I was able to help people lose weight. I started a consulting where we help people, especially women, find themselves again. So it was like my ministry. And then we lost weight. And then when people started losing weight and feeling great about themselves, it was now what next? Now that you taught us about food, you taught us about calories and all that. So where we get healthy food? And that's how Nature Streets was birthed. So we thought, okay, what can we do to bridge this gap? Okay, so we had just moved in from Lagos to IB. And I had not even started it as such in Lagos. It was still from my kitchen, test running, testing the market. So when we came to IB, everybody pushed against it. Ebon, you're literally about to start something that is not even common in Lagos. Why are you going to Ibadan? Most Lagos people look down on Ibadan. I don't think they do that anymore, but back then, they did that a lot. And I was like, well, I think I wanted us to be a family unit. My husband was transferred here for work. And I didn't want that whole away, the kids were growing. I wanted that. So I was like, let me try and go and test the waters of what Ibadan is giving. Then I'll know what to do. So we came here and it was Shoprite had just come. It was just waking up and it was really scary. Who's going to understand Greek yogurt or smoothies here? It was like an Amala point and kill town. So I'm talking 10, 11 years ago. But I came anyway and I did it afraid. So I tell people that people in your corner goes a long way to help you actualize your dreams. So my best friend then, I remember telling her, my mom, people, and then rather than make me scared, they pushed me on. I was like, don't try it, don't worry. And so our first location then, our first place was at the Palms Mall at the store, because everybody felt, look, if you're going to do this, go to people that are enlightened, where they go to just find yourself in that area. So we went there, and it was not bad at all. To be honest, it was a business nobody had ever, thought anybody could do. I mean, now it's common. Then I'm talking 10, 11 years ago. No, nobody knew what smoothies and hair. So what's that salad bar? Are we joking? But then it has been really great. The challenges for me then was awareness. So even though we started pretty decent, but it would have been more interesting starting now when people were more aware with less competition. Then there was nobody doing it, but people were clueless. Like, what is this? Even though there was a good handful of people that were willing to try and all of that. So those are some of the challenges. Also money, because I like beautiful things. So I wasn't going to start my business mediocre. I wanted it to have a nice ambience and feel, and there was the money thing. So I had to learn how to upscale gradually. So we started from that one location, did it up to the best of what I could do. And then the moment the feedback started coming in that, I wanted you in this area, I wanted you in this area, I had to go back to the drawing board and said, you know what, I can't afford this space all over town. So what do we do? So we decided to downsize the size and the beauty, quote and unquote, and now create smaller units around town. So that's what we did with the business. So I'll sit them down and give them a cup of coffee so they relax. Because a lot of people are competing with who they shouldn't be competing with. So I tell people that leverage goes a long way. Leverage goes a longer way than we realize. So if for example, my husband was a billionaire, I don't necessarily have to sweat about certain stuff that the regular Joe would have to. So I tell people leverage is big, and I have things I've also leveraged on the family. So we all don't have that leverage. So I tell people, use what you have to get what you want. Rather than rush off and say you want to build stores and all that, why don't you build credibility, have your customer service, build loyalty, have an online storefront. So because it's those same people that come and look for you in the store. So if you've not built that online community presence, I'm not sure why you're rushing to a store. Now, if you have, I'll still say you don't need 3, 4, 5 stores because of operational costs. It's a lot. So you might be making money. So I tell people that I'm not saying you make money. Making money means you see the alerts, the revenue, but that's not profit.
Yeah.
The operational costs will take a lot of that revenue. So you want to minimize that, you as best as you can. So if you can maybe have only one store eventually, but you start from online means it's where you live. You're sharing the issues together, the rent, the everything, so you can, and even if you want to be like a strict businesswoman, you can even say, okay, I live here, and you can separate it, okay, as the owner of this house, this is how much my NEPA is, 200K a month. And I said that, okay, as a person, I will divide it 50-50. But at least it's doing something, it's helping you. Yeah. Imagine moving out and you're having to pay that whole 200K from the business. Yeah. So I tell people, take your time, do your numbers properly, but don't rush. We are in an era where online is big business, and you need to try and milk that as best as you can. To be honest, I'm not as much as most people, because I tell people that, there's always the issue of being a woman. There's just usually, we're always profiled. Like, what can she do? And that's usually a general thing. So I'm not going to say that that's peculiar to just me. But I also tell people that it also goes a long way if you have you are confident, you have a courage, and you know your onions. So even if they profile you for the first few minutes, or you start a conversation and you're leading that conversation, to quickly change anybody's mind. Oh, okay. Right, we profiled this one wrong, and then you know your onions, and you implement and you follow through. So I haven't really experienced a lot of things like that. What I would say I've experienced instead is I haven't had as much opportunities, because most times it's easier for men. I'll put it this way. I don't know how to put it this without sounding like I'm complaining. So most times we women, if you're a good-looking woman, for example, and you're chasing after something, usually it almost becomes like transactional. Like, okay, so what can you do? And I'm like, bro, I can do the work. So you already know, okay, what else? But I don't know if many guys get that. If you're good at what you do, they will at best, they're probably wanting to take out your deal, and you're like, okay, fine, and I do my work and go. But for women, you have a lot of pushbacks, reverse in the sense that, okay, yeah, we know you can do it and all that, but then they are putting in other things in between, and you're wondering, why do you want to destroy this opportunity? So that's what I would say I've experienced more like, and I'm not really interested. So I've lost opportunities more because I get things thrown at me and I'm like, no, that's not what I want to do. This is what I want to do. Not because they think I can't do it, because I'm a woman, no, but because they want to take advantage of the fact that, okay, you're a woman and I'm there, so that's more like what I would say. I will say passion. I know people say always talk about it, and it's almost beginning to sound like a cliche. But the truth is, you have to know your why. Like what you talked about earlier on, you had this experience, and that's what made you. Same here. I was overweight. I had my kids. I didn't like how I felt or looked anymore. I did research. I started trying it on myself, and I was losing weight. And everybody noticed and wanted me to help them. So that's what one day, one of my managers, I remember, she was walking past my desk at work, and she was like, this one that they always want to stop it. And we better start charging them more. This was in 2013. She didn't know she dropped that seat. So when I decided I wasn't going to work anymore, I was like, so what can I do? Okay, event planning, a lot of people are doing it. Even though I won't lie to you, my sister, I wish I had done the event planning from back, because I did register the company, Rainbow Effect. But it just felt saturated then. So I was like, let me do something different. When there's someone that likes to always do the one that other people have not done. Then, so wellness was still shocking me. I lost a lot of weight, almost 50 kg. I've helped so many other people lose weight. Okay, now, so I like things that would push me and challenge me. So that's why I found myself. And if I knew it, I was helping people curate meal plans. So that's where Nature Street was got, where now, okay, we want this healthy version. Please, where can we get it? And it wasn't really available then. So that's where, so we came to create like that to create that gap, to block that gap, so that you know that you want healthy food. You are sure that how it's made, how it's sourced, and all of that is healthier for you. It's less calories, a lot more nutritious, and would help with your weight management or your weight loss goals at the end of the day. So yes, to be honest, I really benefited from having control of my time with my kids, because I'm a very hands-on mom, and that has shown now what kind of relationship we have, because I'm really hands-on with them, all school activities, even them like a good relationship with the kids. That afforded me time, because I was busy, but it's flexible. So you came today, I said, okay, I can move something. But imagine if I was doing like a strict 9 to 5. I probably wouldn't have been able to play around with some decisions. So that was a major advantage. But I always still tell people that work-life balance holistically would be balanced. But at that instant, when you need to take that decision, something else will suffer. Yeah. Let me give you an example. If I have a job today, for example, like we have some jobs, and look, for example, there's a job I'm doing in April where I'm the event planner, and the restaurant also is catering. Yeah. I can assure you that week, the home front will suffer a bit. Yeah. It says that I'm probably not going to be there. Yeah. I probably just will have left instructions. I probably have to go and trust that my housekeeper will do what she's supposed to do. Of course, I'll probably put things in place before then, but they will miss me. So what I mean is, I'm not a superhuman. So to be able to give my job 100 at that critical 1 week, the home front will definitely miss me. But so it's holistically going to balance, because at the end of the day, I probably put things in place. The clients will be happy. At the end of the day, oh yeah, everybody's happy and all that. And then there'll be other times, maybe yes, I can go home and spend some time. That weekend, maybe I'll just shut down after, and I feel like guys, it's me and you, So that's how I can balance things. And then there'll be other times where I'm supposed to have come to work and all of that, or maybe I've had a meeting and then my baby's ill. I'm just going to call that person. I'm sorry, can we reschedule this? I need to do something. So at that instance, the client's probably a bit disappointed that we already planned this, but that's priority at that point. Oh, absolutely. So many. So people only see the glam from outside, but there's a lot of work behind the scenes. When we started the business, I started at the Palms Mall. Again, I didn't even want to have a store at the Palms Mall. Again, because there was a lot of rumors that, they were charging in dollars and other, how I'm coming from the kitchen. Now when I went there, I wanted like a tiny stall. Like how, I don't know if you know how the malls are in Lagos, where you just see this tiny thing on the
pathway.
That's what I wanted. But they're like, no, they couldn't do that because it's only when the stores are all full is when they now allow that spillover. But because there was still a lot of available spaces at the food court and I was like, I can't afford. But they were really nice to me because they really wanted us on board. They were like, they never heard of anything like yogurt and no ice cream and all that. This is 2017. So they went there and then I was able to negotiate not paying for a year because I was like, I don't see money for 1 year. So they allowed me to pay monthly and all of that. So gave me really good soft landing. We were there for about 2 years and we started getting feedback. So we're big on feedback business. And I tell people that that's what, for word of mouth, what has grown this business the most. I can say for free that I've never done any advertising or anything. It's been word of mouth. Oh, I tried this thing somewhere. I think you guys should try it. Something like that, and we've grown. And I remember the feedback then, we had a feedback box and we kept saying, oh, this is far. I live in this. And I realized a lot of our customers stayed in Bodija. And I was like, it would be nice and wise to, get this place. So I told my business manager, there's this consultant I used when we started, and I ran it by him and I was like, okay, let's get another place. So I left the Palms Mall after 2 years and got a smaller place whilst I was looking for a place in Bodija. So I wanted 2 small places instead of 1 big place. And then in process, we moved to Grandex Mall because they too were leaving because they were in at the mall then, and I knew one of them and they were like, oh, we're leaving to our own place. I was like, is there space over there? So I spoke to them and then I got this tiny space over there. And then whilst we're now looking for, but they were not yet ready. So we now got another place in Mobile, like a stopgap. But we realized that the sales in this place is not stopgap, that we think we need to maintain this Mobile place, And then so we had that place. So imagine on the same ring road stretch, we had left Palms, we now had Mobile and now Grandex, which was like at 2 ends. Whilst we're still looking for a place in Bodija. So when we finally got this place, because prior to that, those places were just sale points. Production was still in my house.
Wow.
Production was still, in fact, my duplex was no longer a duplex. It was like a 1-man room because the business had occupied everywhere. So 2020, it now became imminent that I needed to get my production place because what happened in 2020?
COVID.
So my husband was home, the children were home, we're not going anywhere. He was like, we're walking along. So this is a 5-bedroom duplex that was not looking like as if what was going on over here. So it was not, it was time. It is time. So and I started looking actively for a place. So we got this place in Bodija in 2020. So I was able to move production and free the house. That's what I'm saying, leverage. So I wasn't paying rent. I was producing, selling, but I was paying rent at the sale point, but not, all the heavy duties. So if they put on the generator show, I'm leveraging on the generator that is on, all that. I leveraged on what I could for my family, until we moved out and I had to wear my big girl pants. By moving here, and I was not by myself. So we moved here and we had the 2 locations. But then again, like you said, I did my numbers at the end of the year. I did not renew Grandex because it didn't feel worth it. Looking at the numbers, Mobile was doing well. Even this one that just started. So I was like, well, why? So instead of being sentimental, so I thought you can't be sentimental with business.
Yeah.
The moment you remove sentiment from your business, you'll be able to make clear decisions and know exactly what you need to do. Some of them will be hard. Some will be tough. Some you'll even cry. But you wake up, you dust your head and you're like, remove, And so I closed down that store. Why didn't you close it? Because it's not making sense. So I closed it down and focused on just Mobile and this and here. And for me, I was even fine with that because I already started doing events. You go for a wedding, you see a gourmet parfait stand or a smoothie bar. So why not? And then especially as I also do other things. I'm also an events planner. I started taking the interest reawakened, and I was like, okay, because I started finding myself in a lot of events as a vendor. So I was like, this was your first love now. So reawakened, and I even registered the company since 2011. I was like, so why not? I started doing that, and then by by proxy, I was always being invited to speak at events. I'd become like a public speaker too. Then because of my experience as a trainer or like a coach, I always get called to do some training or that. So that my plate was getting full. So I was like, that 2 locations for Nature Street is fine. I have other things I'm doing. That's aside being a mom and a wife and a daughter, and and I'm like, so it's okay, And then I always use my brand to do, because I have a heart for people, so that had also translated into my brand. So I just found that we're always doing things like supporting this event, supporting that cause. But then I now went for AWE in 2022. I was one of the few lucky selected people. It was an amazing program, and I learned that I needed to create an entity for that. So I created my NGO. So I have an NGO that caters to women, empowerment of youth, and helping children, the children welfare.
Can you tell us more?
So the thing is, I've not really done that much with it. It's barely like 2 years old. I mean, not that much. I mean, we supported causes, but I haven't really done, and that's part of what I think. So that's why I say I need to try and know how to partner, leverage more collaborations where you're still a baby in this. That's that your Agbas have been doing NGO for a long time. So you can you can collaborate with them. What can I do? Help out and learn the ropes. But then we are big on wanting to help people. Like there was a post I did recently on Instagram where I'm 43 soon, but I'm not ashamed. So I listed a couple of things like, which normally I would have been sulking about or upset about, but I'm grateful for what I've been able to achieve instead. And one of it was, by now I thought I'd have been able to, there's this grand plan I had in my head where to help the less privileged, where we have like a 1,000 bungalow scheme with low-cost housing, with solar, renewable energy, where people can live and eat for almost free. Because I mean, it can't be free because people don't appreciate things are free. Sure. But if there's some little bit of something that would augment their living, I thought by now I would either have done it or be in the process. But my sister, even the land, to put it, so that's what I was thinking about that by now, but hey, so it's something, and those are the things I hope and believe that the NGO will be able to achieve. In collaboration with other people, where we can bring this to life, because there are a lot of people that need these things, so that's part of. So for Nature Street, we did that, and then we opened an Akobo branch, a tiny store in Akobo. We also have another tiny kitchen here in Bodija. We had another one in Ercas. So we left Mobile and moved to Odo now. I don't know how well you know Ibadan, because we did a collaboration with a lounge. We wanted a bigger space. That the Mobile was tiny, and then I'm just trying to tell you where we've made moves, and we've also cancelled other things just to make business, that tough business decisions. And then that one too, after a while, I think the lounge wasn't doing that well. So what was supposed to be like that leverage collaboration wasn't really playing as. After I tried to do that by myself for 2 years, and after a while I was like, no, it's not working. Well, you can't remove this one. No. There's nothing for us on this side of town. We work on something, but this one, no, it's not working because it was big. It's now too big for me to run alone. You get, so I said that's fine. So I had to take that tough decision, and we move, and then now we maintain more online with the 3 we have and online, pending when we know what next one to do concerning that. And then the other businesses too, 1 or 2 things, you need to learn how to take tough decisions. It's not always going to be easy. You're going to have to shut down your favorite product line, but it's probably not doing that well.
Sure.
So sentiments it's your favorite, but it's obviously not your customer's favorite. Because if it was their favorite, it will be doing well. You're going to have to learn how to tweak things. You're going to have to learn how to repurpose things. You're going to have to learn how to go back to the drawing table. There's no time. There's no schedule for that. Oh, you go every month, every year. No, it's as needed. I remember that I went back to the drawing table with some products in this brand where, okay, these are our best sellers, but they can do better. Why is it not doing as good as I think it should do? I went back to the drawing table, tweaked the recipe without affecting price, and boom. So you need to be able to go back to the drawing table from time to time. Feedback, you need to take feedback, good or bad. It helps your brand, it helps your business go. So, yeah. Do a shout out to my younger sister. She's my immediate younger sister. Hey. CEO Luscious Chocolate. So apart from the fact that she's my sister, I admire her tenacity. So you can imagine going into a line of business that has to do with, it's not mainstream.
Yeah.
And she's not buying cocoa powder and mixing it like what probably some people are doing. She's getting her cocoa beans or cocoa pods from Ileoluji or all those places. And, you know, doing the whole process end to end, bean to bar. So she creates artisan bar chocolates. And we started around the same time, actually. I remember then when we were going to visit her, our entire house was full of chocolates, like, you know, cocoa, because it was our guest room. That was the science lab then, I remember. And then she moved out to Lekki. She too has had to take a tough decision. She's my immediate younger sister, but I admire her. She might not, I hope when she sees it, she will be reminded about how much I admire her. Now she moved and they had their store in Lekki, and she had to take a tough decision to leave Lekki when the landlord wanted to keep them with rent money and move her factory to the mainland, to like an industrial area where there's always better power and all of that. You know, she has had to take tough decisions. She was supplying a lot of stores before, but because of maybe owing money, like Hubmart that closed down with some of their money. So she had to pull back and just maintain a few stores and think about doing the business in other ways. Like now she supplies some hotels. So as I keep telling you, then you go back, you keep going back to the drawing board. You keep, and then ultimately for me, the fact that she's had to try and balance family and work, where her husband is transferred and she's moving around with him, and the business is still running. Even though, like I was telling you, she has 1 million gray hair, but we move, you know, and it's still working. Kids have her business has her, you know, her husband has her. That's fantastic. So that's. I
guess I can confidently say tennis still runs in the family.
I mean, quickly let me add this because it's trending. So there's this thing about the Babangida, his book.
Yeah.
I even did a post about it. I take it personal because I remember that year 30 years ago. My dad lost his job. He was one of the people that experienced the whole policies, and he lost his job on TV, no severance, nothing till tomorrow. So because of what you said, the tenacity, so my mom had to step up, and I'm the first kid, I started the second. So we were the two that had to step up with mommy to make things happen. Because at that point, my dad was that shock. You know, I mean, this is a guy that he's an engineer, you know, this has all he knows, and then so he's not everybody's built for the streets. Yeah. What I mean by some people are chagaban, they do business. Some people they know their book and they know that's my father's department. You know where? So there's some people that did that happen. Maybe 1 or 2 years. They probably found another business that bought. But my mom had to wear her big girl pants, and I had to hold it up for her with my sister supporting. I'm just a year older than my sister. So when you say tenacity, I have a feeling that that's what groomed us all. Yeah. As like they say, in a crayfish, in a condition to make crayfish bend. I think if from that young age, because I was only 12 when that happened.
Wow.
Yes, and it was literally a grace to grass situation. Because before then, my dad was a marine engineer, was a chief cap. So you can imagine soft life, quite soft life, you know. Then I remember on our street, we first that had cable. Wow. We always had fresh milk at the house. Then apple was what is common. Apple, my house was the hub of those pink lady apples. Yeah. My dad always brought them from the street. And to now suddenly, okay, he didn't have a job. And then his investments he had made, he had lost a lot of them due to some of the policies. Too, it's like we just went from boom, boom. And I was one that saw really what was going on. I was the oldest. So I couldn't, and I'm usually not a fussy person, so I just had to align. So all those frivolities, I had to first go out of the window. And then my mommy, growing up, she was working in a small insurance firm. But I had doing business, so those businesses we had to support. So get back from school, everybody's playing, we do our homework, we go and support. She had a store selling popcorn, go there, me and my sister, we do that with her, or with wherever our staff is there, or if there's no staff, do that. And so I can imagine that.
It's guilty.
Yes, and it was both of us, because the others were really young, and we are the two that actually do business right now. So yeah, maybe.